Hey everyone, it's Bobby Joe for another Wednesday on the Genderqueer Gang. And the topics this week were to talk about passing, whether or not it's important to us, or our frustrations, anxiety, depression related stuff with trans things. I'm going to talk about both because a lot of my anger or frustrations and depression with trans issues comes with notions of passing. So first I want to talk about passing. I think it's important to note when we're talking about passing or when there's pressures of passing, it has to do with passing as cisgendered. And I think that's really fucked up. So when most people talk about the fact that they've passed, they mean that they've passed as the gender they're transitioning to. So here lies the problem of someone who does not identify with a binary gender. How thus do you pass as a cisgender identity if you don't have a cisgender identity that you identify with? Like, I don't identify with male or female, therefore I am stuck in this place where I can never pass as what I want to pass as. Yeah, like, I have no desire to pass as male. I do have desire to pass as trans. I'm not read as trans, and that is where my frustrations come from. I wish I could pass as trans. Unfortunately, our society doesn't view trans as like a valid identity, really. Your trans identity should be that you want to pass as a cisgender identity, and that is the goal. That's not my goal. In no way is it. And I get really frustrated with trans communities who talk about it as if it's the goal and as if your trans identity isn't valid if you're not searching for this end point of passing as a cisgender identity. Like, no, my goal is to confuse people. Like, I wish my gender confused people. I wish my presentation confused people. Eventually, hopefully, I will be to that point. But at the moment, I'm just read as cis female. And that's really frustrating. I wish that I could be read as trans and pass as trans. But again, our society doesn't view that as like anything. So how can you pass as something that doesn't have like an image in our society as it, unless like the image of trans in our society is someone who's trying to pass but can't pass. And so they're read as trans because they're not passing as cisgendered. That's, like, again, that's not my goal. I'm not trying to pass, and so therefore I'm not stuck in this weird place, but I would like... Anyways, I'm just going in circles. That's my opinions on passing. But passing is a very personal thing, and that's another issue that I have with this topic, is that it's a very personal thing whether or not you want to pass or what you are desiring to pass as. And to have all this pressure from society, from the trans community, from the medical community, that like passing should be your goal, really fucked up. And it also alienates people in the trans community who don't feel this need to pass, who don't try to pass, who don't have a definite thing that they want to pass as, who want to always be in a transitory place. Like, it makes the person feel alienated and like their identity isn't valid because they are not wanting to go to this extreme of passing as cisgendered. It's really messed up. And like, it's also like, we're trying to pass as cisgendered, and that makes us invisible again. Like, once you start passing as cisgendered, your trans identity becomes invisible so that you can become a normal part of society again. And why is that the goal? I don't understand why that's the goal. Like, it's all like so we can assimilate back into normal society, but really the thing is, society should be changing to realize that not all gender identities are simple. Because honestly, like, even cisgendered identities are not that simple. Like, no one fits into a box that easily, and it's just messed up. Like, our views on gender need to change a whole lot. And I don't think this pressure within the trans community on passing helps at all. Not one bit. Yeah. I also think that a lot of it comes from the medical community, especially when it comes to things like needing 1 year of real life experience or 2 years of real life experience for things such as like hysterectomies or going on hormones, because like some places you have to have real life experience to go on hormones, and all your different surgeries, and just, it's really fucked up, like as if your whole life wasn't real life experience, as if you didn't figure it out from going through the rest of your life, as if you're not the one who knows yourself the best. I have a lot of issues with it, and it makes me really angry. And so here comes like my issues with trans things that get me really depressed, and it's this. It's this notion on passing. It's this not being read as trans because I'm very feminine, and I don't see the need to try and do all these things. I'm like, my gender identity is very separate from my presentation. I still like looking pretty. Not that you can't look pretty and masculine, but like, I'm like a femmy little fag boy. I don't, yeah, sorry. Makes me so frustrated and angry, and it's like, makes me feel like I can't wear certain things that I want to wear, or I don't know where I'm going with this. It's annoying. I also like have started the process of trying to get a hysterectomy with my doctor, and like found out that like 1 year or 2 years of real life experience might still be a requirement for it in Canada. And I don't really know how I'm going to get that, because my gender and the way I present it isn't like really recognized as valid within that system. So super stoked on that. Yeah, hopefully it can still get figured out. Anyways, so those things, the medical community, ideas on passing, all fucking real, they get to me. I try not to let them get to me, but the reality of the situation is that they get to me. So, yeah, that was a really ranty piece this week, but I will see you guys next week, and by then, my whole surroundings will be different because I move in 2 days. I move to Victoria. 2 days. I'm so stoked. I'm going to be living in the same city as my partner. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Bye. See you next week.